Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Keith with Craps TX. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, before we get started, please hit that thumbs up. It means a lot and really helps out. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. That way you're notified when the next video comes out. So today we're going to try another regression strategy for a $15 table. On one of the last videos, the 220 snapback. A commenter or viewer commented, hey, try this. It's a 154 inside regression strategy. I've played it the last several times, 3, 4, 5 times, I think it was, and have had success with it. So this is how you do it, and we're going to run through it. That rhymed, didn't it? This is how we do it. So before we get to that, I'd like to mention our two partners, PokerChipMania.com and gripmats.etsy.com. Thank you for partnering with the channel. First up, PokerChipMania.com, right here on your screen. They've got clay, ceramic, and composite chips like I use, the 11.5 gram striped dice chips. Plus, they have the 19 millimeter dice. They've got other home casino supplies like poker and blackjack. They've got some roulette chips, chip rack storage cases. They got felts. They're a small business. They're super responsive. They can handle some custom orders. Just send them a message if you reach out with what you need, and they'll let you know if they can do it or not. And then for my viewers, they've set up a discount code right here. Use this, CrapsTX10 at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. So if you're building a home casino setup, they've got everything you need. That is PokerChipMania.com. Moving on, next is gripmats.etsy.com. They're the people that I bought my deluxe craps mat from, and their lineup is massive. Not only do they have a craps table layout, but for casinos, for home casinos, they got poker, blackjack, and baccarat. They've got all other kinds of games, such as like Axis and Allies. They have GMT games, Terraforming Mars. They have grid and hex mats, wet dry erase mats. They have desk mats, travel mats. They got over 300 designs. So lots of stuff over there. Go check them out. Licensed products such as Dune, Marvel, and Star Wars. Everything's water resistant. If you'll go on their site, they'll pour a little cup of water on one of these tables and it beads right up and wipe it off. They're super durable. The artwork is top tier. You can see right here. They're also take custom orders if you reach out, and they run percentage off sales. So just click on the item that you're looking at, and if it's discounted, you'll see the percentage off right there on the page. Sometimes they do the whole site. Sometimes it's just individual items. So go check them out. That is gripmats.etsy.com. Links for both are in the description. And thank you to those two small businesses. Please go out and support them. All right. So like I said, we had a viewer comment on the last video, the 220 snapback. I think it was the last video. Depends on what order these come out, because I'm filming a few to get ahead. He said, hey, man, try this. It's 154 inside. And first hit, you buy the 4 and the 10. Second hit, you regress to 110. Then you're about $12 in at that point. Next hit, you can do like a half press or whatever, get out of the hand. And then from there on, you can do whatever. Take another 2, 3 hits. Regress all the way down to 66 if you want. And then you are well into the profit. And then you have to build back up from there. So anyway, I have tried it out and had a little bit of success with it. He started out with a $1,500 bankroll, $1,500 bankroll. We're going to start out with $1,000 just for the sake of the video. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 75, and 1,000. We'll get that racked up. Like I said, it is a regression strategy. I know a lot of you out there like those, and I do too. And then I'm also learning the light side, dark side stuff, so I'm kind of getting to like those as well. It's good to have a few strategies in your back pocket to adjust to whatever the situation is. All right, so 154 inside. That's 35, 42, 42, and 35. Each one of those pay 49 or 50 for one. The first hit, he said you buy the 4 and the 10. Now, he did not say if you buy it for 20 or 25. The way I was practicing it, I was just doing it for 20. And like I said, I had some success with it. Out of about, say, 10 practice sessions, I would say at least 7 of them were successful, because I did have a really good run on one of them. More than doubled my money on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, roll it out. That way you'll kind of see how it works. Now, as far as a name, I couldn't really think of anything. He didn't mention a name. But as I was practicing the last song that I was listening to, as I shut it off and said, hey, let's go ahead and record this, It was a song by Joe Jackson called Look Sharp. For those of you that don't know Joe Jackson, artist that was very popular back in the 80s and 90s, he had songs like Is She Really Going Out With Him? And more mainstream song like Stepping Out, Stepping Out Tonight. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Yeah, so look sharp. So impress, right? Yeah, look sharp. So regress to impress is what I came up with because I am a smart feller. Not really. Could say it the other way around. But anyway, we're going to call it regress to impress and wait. We're not going to be the shooter. He didn't say if he was a shooter in any of the instances, but obviously you can if you want to. You just don't play the number that hits the point if it's one of these inside numbers because you have it on the pass line. All right, let's look for a point. We are coming out playing the regress to impress $15 table strategy. 415 is going to be our point. Now, like I said, we play with 154 inside for the first go round. So you throw out 154. I've got 155. Dealer, please set me up 154 inside. You'll get $1 change. And as I said earlier, that is 35, 42, 42, and 35. And those each pay 49 or 50 for one. So there is a method to the madness. And then you spread out. Spread out. Dice out, looking for a hit of any sort. There we go. 3, 2, 5. Right back on that 5. So that's a buckshot there. 35 pays 49 or 50 for one. Dealer, I would like to buy the 4 and the 10 for 20 each. So you leave that 50. He'll throw you 10. Change and then get you set up for 20 each on the 4 and the 10. I don't have the little buy lammers, so I'm just moving them up to the middle, which represents that I am buying those numbers. All right, bets are off. You can work if you want, I guess, on the come out, but I'm doing off on the come out. There's a 5, 4, 9. 9 will be our point, and we are looking for another hit so we can regress down to 110 inside. And there we go. There is a 5, 3, 8. 42 pays 49 or 50 for one. I don't have a single, so there's a 5. And I'll get 4 and change. And then I'll say, dealer, please take me down to 110 inside. He's like, man, I just got you set up. Yeah, but it's my strategy, man. I got to run the strategy. So that looks just like this. A quarter on the 5 and the 9, and then 30 on the 6 and the 8, and that's 110 inside. I'm going to color up just to get this stack out of the way. There's 5, 5, and 5, so that's 75. Or 3 green chips. And then with those 3 green, I'll throw another one on it, make it 4, and get a black chip. And we're putting 134 back to the rack. So we're still in for around 20 bucks or so. Like I said, on that next hit, you want to maybe do a half press or a small press and put the rest in your bankroll. That way you are covered. And I'll show you that right now. There is a 639 or, yeah, I think we're good there, right? Or did we hit the 9 last time? I don't know. Okay, I don't think we had a buckshot on that one, did we? 639. All right, so that is going to be 25 pays 35. Dealer, please take me up to 35 on that. And we'll get a quarterback, and we are now 154 exactly. So, oh no, I'm sorry, 155, 159. So we're actually out of the hand plus 4. Dice are out. All right, so now we can do whatever you want. You can press, collect, spread out again. He said you can take a couple of hits, go down to 66 inside if you wanted. There is the 415. That 25 is going to pay 35. Same thing. I'm going to say, dealer, take me up to 35 on that. We'll get a quarter to put back in the rack. Dice are out. There is boxcars, 12 midnight. All the spots and dots we got, but it doesn't help us. But it doesn't hurt either. That helps. 415. 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for one. And I'm going to go ahead and buy that 4 and 10 for 20 each. We'll get $10 in change. You don't have to do this. At this point, I am playing whatever strategy I want, and that's what I want. Money. That's what I want. Don't quote me, son. I ain't said. There we go. Dice are coming out. And we have a 2x4 6 lay in the lumber. 30 is going to pay 35. I always do that backwards, like dyslexic or dyslexic. Please take my 6 up to 42. So So that leave that 2 red on there. You'll get a quarterback. He'll say, throw me a couple of dollars. There you go. And we're now up to 42 on the 6. All right, dice out. So far, so good. 6, 4, 10. All right, so 20 pays true odds when you buy it. So that's 40. It's 2 to 1, but you have to pay $1 vig for each 20 bet. So dealer will ask you to drop $1. Why am I dropping $1 from the bank? Dealer will ask you to drop $1 from your bankroll. And for that, it will give you 40. And at that point, you can do whatever you want with the 4 and the 10, or leave them and just do a same bet. Let's see. What am I going to do? We got a good roll going. Let's just go ahead and say, yeah, I'll take that up to 40, and we'll get 20 back to the rack that I'm messing up over here. All right, dice are out. Let's keep going, and we're not. All right, so there's a 4-3-7. We were done with that shooter, but we did make a little bit of profit, I believe. We'll check it out here in just a second. You know, we don't need to count as we go necessarily, but and I did not start my clock, so we're just going to have to keep an inner clock and hope that I am around the right time. Let's see. What do we make here? There's another black chip right there. So 200 and some odd dollars. There's the some odd would be 25. So 225 out of 154. And there we go. All right, the 154 Regress To Impress. I'm just going to have to wing it on the time. Hopefully we won't go too long over. There's a 426. We'll just take that and start out. Dice are coming out, looking for a point. 415. And I didn't mention the viewer. I didn't get permission to, say, hey, this is his strategy. What am I doing? I'm talking and chewing gum at the same time. 415. 5 is our point. We throw out 154 from over here. My money. All right, 154. Dealer, please place me 154 inside. As I was saying, I didn't get his permission to say, hey, this is so-and-so's strategy. But if you go back and look at the 220 snapback video, it's in the comments. And also, if he'd like to comment down below and say, hey, that's my strategy. Thanks for running it. Or, hey, that's my strategy. You screwed it up. He could do that, and we'll see what he does. Anyway, thank you for the strategy. And yeah, I'd absolutely like you to claim it. I am not a smart feller, so I don't build a lot of these strategies myself. I may tweak them, but other than that, I just kind of run them out as they are and see how they work for me. All right, so we got our 154 inside. We are looking for a hit so we can spread out to the 4 and the 10. There is a buckshot 5. 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. I don't have $1, so there is 5, and we'll get 4 in change. Dealer, I'd like to buy the 4 and the 10 for 20 each. You'll get $10 back out of your 50 that you won, and that goes on the ground. Almost, I caught it. There we go. Hip check. Hips don't lie. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just random stuff in my head that comes out in the course of conversation. We're buying the 4 and the 10. Again, I just move them up in the middle. I don't have a little buy button. So that is what we're doing. We're looking for a new point. Dice are coming out. There is a 6, 4, 10. Easy 10. That's going to be our new point. Now we're looking for a hit, and then we'll regress to 110 inside. There's a 6, 5, 11. Doesn't help. Doesn't hurt. There's a 5, 1, 6. All right, that helps. 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. He'll ask you to drop $1. Dealer would like to go down to 110 inside. Dealer, wheeler dealer. And that will be a little something like this. 110 inside is 25 on the 4 numbers, and then you cap the 6 and the 8 off with nickel each to make them 30. There is 5, 5, and 5. I'm going to color up just to place these over there and not make a big stacky mess. There's 4 green. 4 black, and we're putting 134 back in our rack, just like last time. All right, so we're still in the hand for about 20 bucks or so, so we need another hit, please. There is a 6, 2, 8, please, and thank you. All right, so that pays 30, pays 35. We're going to say take my 8 to 42. We'll get a quarter. Goes back to the rack. He'll ask you to throw a couple of dollars out so you can make it 42, and we are now out of the hand and looking for profit, and we can do whatever we want. 314, but don't get a 4 yet because we don't have it covered again. Dice out. 6, 4, 10. I just said don't hit the number that's not covered. What did you not understand? Point hit. Bets are off. We're looking for a new point. Same shooter. 4, 1, 5. 5 will be our point. And dice are coming out. Looking for a hit so we can do a little something, something. There is a 5, 3, 8. 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. And now we can do whatever we want. Yeah, let's go ahead and buy the 4 and 10 again. 50 for 1. Yeah, got to pay that. So, yeah, buy my 4 and 10 for 20 each. You'll get $10 and change. And we'll get 20 set up on the 4 and the 10. There we go. Dice are coming out. We're playing in Profitsville. 6, 5, yo, 11. And he said also you could take 2 or 3 hits and regress down to 66 and you'll be well into the profit. So there is the 8, hard 8. 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. We could do whatever we want. What do we want to do? Take my 8 up to 60. So we'll do that. And then we'll put 32 back to the rack. And we might do something crazy like go down to 66 inside. We'll just see how it goes. Dice are out. And I knew that as soon as I threw it and I said, we'll go down to 66 inside and see how it works out. Boom, 5, 2. No, you won't. No, you won't. Not in my house. All right. Take that S outside. All right. Let's get this off the table. We are done with that shooter, but we did make a little bit of profit. Almost 200, 195-ish, 198-ish, ish. And on to the next shooter. I have no idea where we're at on time, so we're just going to do it on a wing and a prayer because we're halfway there. That's a different song altogether. All right, looking for a point for the Regress To Impress for a $15 table. That 639 has stepped up and said, hey, I'll be the point. Thank you, Mr. 9. 154. Dealer, please set me up 154 inside. Gladly. Assuming the dealer is old, like me. Sure. Or they probably say, huh? Like I do half the time, because I got 11-itis. That's one more than 10-itis. 42 on the 6 and 8. As I can get out of my joking manner, there is a ace deuce, 3 craps. Mic check. 1, 2. Doesn't help, doesn't hurt. Horn number 639. That is our point, but is also a payment to us. That 35 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. Dealer, I'd like to buy my 4 and 10 for 20 each. You'll get $10 change. And let's buy the 4 and the 10 for 20 and 20. There we go. Bets are off. Looking for a new point. Same shooter. Dice out and jumpy over the stumpy. 5, 3, 8. 8 is going to be our new point. And we're looking for any kind of hit to go down to 110. There is Boxcars, 12 Midnight. That was a prop bet hit. That's not the hit that we need. And a 2x4 6. Now that helps. That helps. 42 pays 49 for 1, or 50 for 1. I'm sorry. I don't have 1. There's a nickel. Again, the dyslexia kicks in sometimes, all the time, sometimes. Some of the time, it works all the time. Dealer, please take me down to 110. Again, he just got you set up, and what the hell is this guy doing, man? I've got a plan. Yeah, well, right. There we go. All right. 5, 5, and 5. That's 75. We're just going to color up before we put it back to our rack. There's 3. Put another quarter on there. Make it 4. And 134 goes back to the rack. Jack. All right. So we're now down to 110 inside. We are looking for a hit. 6, 4, 10, because we're still about $20 or so into the hand. There is a hard 4. Look at that. 4 and 10. Look. See? Right here. 5, 6, 8, 9. You see them? There we go. Thank you. 5, 1, 6. 30 is going to pay 35, or I'll say take my 6 up to 42. That's that, and we'll take a quarter back to the rack, and it'll ask you to drop $2, and now we're out of the hand because we just put $23 back in the rack. So we're over 154. We're like 157 or so. 549. So now we can do whatever we want. 30 is, or 25 is going to pay 35. I'm going to put it up to 35, dealer, and then get that quarter back to the rack. At some point, I may buy the 4 and the 10 again. At some point, I may not. There is an ace deuce, 3 craps. And I guess at any time you could also play the prop bets if you like, but just for the purpose of these strategy videos, I try not to do them unless they're included in the strategy. 5-2 and you're through. So that is it for that shooter. I don't know what time we have right now, so I'm just going to guess and say we'll have enough for another shooter or maybe 2. Puck goes off. We have 1, 75, 80 something going back to the rack, so a little bit of profit, not a ton, but hey, we're having fun, right? Building tier points, making friends at the table, waiting for the cocktail waitress. Where is my drink? Looking for a new point. New shooter, 639. 9 is going to be the point. Out with the 154 one more time. Sorry for all the uhs. I've learned to forget those. I was in radio for a little bit, just part-time, so I learned to forget the uhs and ums and all that, but now they're coming right back into my vocabulary, which is limited at best. But hey, I get by. A little help from my friends. We're looking for 154 inside. That is 35, 42, 42, and 35. And there we go. We need a hit. We need a hit so we can spread out to the 4 and the 10. There is a 3 craps. Ace deuce. No bueno. There is a 5-1-6. 6 will pay 49. 42 pays 49, or 50 for 1. Had to think about it for a second, which really hurt. I don't need to do that kind of stuff like think. Dealer, I'd like to buy the 4 and the 10 for 20 each. They'll take that 50, give you 10, and put 20 each on your 4 and 10. Real quick while I'm looking at it, just because it's getting kind of full over there, I'm going to cash in a few of these red. There's 2 stacks of 5 for 2 quarters. There we go. All right, so now we're looking for 1 hit so we can regress down to 110 inside, and there's our hit. There is a hard 10. All right, we're buying that 10. That 20 pays true odds, or 2 to 1, 40 to 20 for $1 VIG. You pay $1 VIG for each 20 bet. Dealer asks you to drop $1, and he'll give you 40. Now, what do you want to do? Well, we just said we're going to regress down to 110, so you took my dollar, dealer. Take me down to 110. And there we go. We're getting this far at least. That's good. We need to get it farther. We need to build a stack. Stacks and stacks of cash. 5, 5, and 5. All right. That is 3 green chips. And those 3 green will give us a black chip, plus the 1 green that was down there. And that's a little bit less back to the rack, 124. So we're still 30 bucks in or so. But we'll just kind of play it as we see it. And hopefully we get a couple of hits. There is aces, spot in the dot. No help, 2 craps. 3, 2, 5. All right. We could same bet it and we'll be out of the hand. We'll go ahead and do that. 25 pays 35. We'll just say same bet. And we are out of the hand. There's 5 for a quarter, so we're 155, 159. So yeah, we're 4 bucks up. Dice are out. We're looking for some hits now. There we go. 3, 2, 5. 25 is going to pay 35. We can do what we want. I always just like to take those 2 red chips and say, drop them on that 5. I'll take that quarter, please, and thank you. Dice out. 6, 5, yo, 11. No help, no harm. I'm going to start a band called No Help, No Harm. 2x4, 6. That is helping. 30 is going to pay 35. Dealer, take my 6 to 42. So drop those 2 red on there, give you the quarter. Say, hey, man, throw me a couple of those singles. Hey, man. There is 42. Dice out. 5, 3, 8. Same thing there. 25 or 30 pays 35. We're going to ask him to go to 42. So we'll drop the 2 red, drop a quarter. to you and ask for $2 in change, or in return rather. Stop that. All right, there's 4 green for a black, and just coloring up as we go. All right, so we're going to move along. We can buy the 4 and 10 at some point, and we might do that right now. 35 pays 49 or 50 for 1. I don't have 1. There is 5. I'll get 4 and change. Dealer, I'd like to buy the 4 and the 10 for 20 each. So there's 50. Give you 10 and change, and move along to the sound of the sun. I don't even know if that's a saying, but I just made it up. So we're buying the 4 and the 10. There is 12 boxcar midnight, all the spots and dots. There's a 2x4 6. Now he also said take a couple 3 hits. You can go down to 66 inside, and man, you are in Profitsville. Let's try that. We haven't tried that yet. So 2x4 6. 42 is going to pay 49. There is 50 for 1. Dealer, I'd like to go down to 66 inside. What are you doing? Why are you taking our money? Well, because I want to, and that's the way I'm doing it. This is how we do it. All right, 66 inside. We're going all the way down. That is 15, 18, 18, and 15. We're going to have to get a little bit of change. There's $6. Don't have to put that 1 over there necessarily, but I just do it for semantics. That's what I like about you. That's a romantics, isn't it? Okay. So yeah, we'll take the rest of this back to the rack. There's 4 for a black chip. Got 125, 143 going back to the rack, and we've got a pretty good chunk of change over here. Where'd that quarter come from? I don't know, so I'm not going to claim it. I'll just put it back there. It probably came from over here. It might have been mine, but I'm just going to throw it back there, and I'll make up for it in the end. You'll see it on the graphics. Hey, this is where I screwed up. 2x4 6, right again. 18 pays 21. We're going to throw in $3, take it to 24, and say, Dealer, I'd like to take it up to 42 if you don't mind. You say, all right, son, I can do that. 42. 1, 2, 3, and 2. And then that dollar goes right back there. Because 18 and 24 makes 42. There we go. We're right. Dice out. There is an ace deuce. 3 craps is what some people call it. There's a 6-5 yo. But you saw that horn, but did you bet it? Because if you see a horn, you're supposed to bet a horn. And there's some jumpy dice. I'm just going to grab it by hand. There is a 5-4 9. 9 is our point, and we also got a hit there. 15 is going to pay 21. There's the 20 part of it. I'm just going to say, dealer, throw that on the 9, and I'll take that dollar and turn that 9 into 35. All right, this is probably going to be our last shooter, so hopefully we get a little bit of run here. There's a 6-4 10. 10 will be our new point. All right, dice are coming out, looking for some hits, and there we go. 2x4 6. Once again, that's a good one. 42 is going to pay 49 or 50 for 1. Dealer, please take my 6 to 60. I'm just going to hit or press whatever hits. And there's 32 back to the rack. And dice are coming out. 6, 2, 8. All right, 18 pays 21. I'm going to throw in $3 and say, dealer, please take my 8 to 42. And that looks like that. 1 quarter, 3 red, and 2 white. And that goes back there. Dice are coming out. And a 6-1-7. All right, we're done. So that, like I said, is probably the last shooter. I don't know where we're at on time. I just looked at my clock, and it's like 0000. I have a little stopwatch thing over there. But yeah, so that is the Regress To Impress sent in by a viewer on the last video in the comment section. Let me know what you think. It's a regression strategy, 154. First hit, buy the 4 and the 10. Next hit, regress to 110. Next hit, maybe do a small press and take the rest back so you can cover your hand, and then you are done, and you can do whatever you want from there on out. So let's get our money back over here and see where we are at. Take a little count. That didn't make sense, but it rhymed, right? Count rhymes with count. All right. Don't need to color up those. There's 5 red. There's 5 more. And there's 5 more. So that is 3 of those. That would be 75 in green terms. There you go. Green terms. Now we'll take those. There's 4, 4, 4, and 4. Man, if we're playing golf, people are getting smacked in the head. That is $400 dollarinis. All right. And we'll take these black chips and go 5, 5, and that's it. That's 1,000. So we know we're in the profit. We'll get a orange chip for 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1,400. 25, 30, 35, 36, 37. 1,437. So take that array right there, and 437 is our profit. Not a bad strategy. Like I said, I've played it probably 10 times, and about 70% of the time it worked every time. So let me know what you think. Regress to Impress. Right down there in the comments below. If you have maybe another suggestion and you don't want to put it in a public forum, you can email me right here, crapstx@gmail.com. Nice little regression strategy for a $15 table. Before we go, I'd like to shout out once again to pokerchipmania.com and gripmats.etsy.com. Great people, great products. Links are in the description if you want to check them out. Hit that thumbs up for us. That really helps. It does. It pushes out the algorithm, pushes it out to other people that see videos like this. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit that bell for notifications, and you will be notified when the next video comes out because you are one of the special ones that subscribed and have that knowledge. Awesome. CrapsTX. That's the logo. This is the channel. My name is Keith. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. It's growing little by little, and I really do appreciate it. We've had a lot of fun, but we'll see you on the next one.